All right, we're live. Second video for today. First video we talked about prayer. This video we're just going to go off and talk a little bit about music.
Okay.
So we can talk about worship music, but I kind of wanted to talk more about Christians who like to listen to secular music. And is that a healthy thing?
No, probably not.
Probably not. So you can give us your comments whether you think it's healthy. There are a ton of Christians who see absolutely nothing wrong with listening to that. And then there's a
Can I just interject?
Yeah, go ahead.
That we throw in. We're going to talk about music and consumption of music, but can we let this be? Because I think this works on a principle of everything worldly. The consumption of something that we know is very worldly, that we dabble in, and say this is just a hobby. That's how I look at it.
Right.
I listen to all kinds of music.
Yeah.
All kinds.
Yeah. One of the things that's interesting is we sometimes play the radio game in the car with my family. And the radio game is that you scan from station to station, and if a song comes on and you can either sing along with it with the first couple lines, or you know the song, or you know the person who sings the song, you get a point.
Right.
And by the time you get to the destination, wherever you're going,
is it a race to who can start first?
Yeah.
Okay.
And so whoever gets the most points whenever we get to where we're getting, that's who wins the game. Because our family is very dyslexic. Would it be no, not dyslexic. ADHD. Yeah, ADD. We have a problem with just going anywhere or doing anything without having to do something in the process.
Sure.
We can't just drive in the car together. We have to be doing something. So we usually play some kind of games. And one of those is
why can't you be like a normal family and just everybody text and drive?
Oh,
like you're all on your phones.
We could do that. We could. Janelle Thompson. Hey, she's from Pennsylvania.
What's up, Janelle?
So she's logged on. That's good. So my question, I guess, is this that I'd like to throw out is that a lot of Christians listen to worldly or secular music. And you would have one side of the camp that says, oh, there's really nothing wrong with that because it's not my main cup of tea or whatever. And then there's the other side that says all of that music is demonic. All that music has an agenda. And the agenda is to really renew and transform our minds in a worldly perspective, into a worldly perspective.
Sure.
Whereas worship music, you can like certain forms of worship music. You can even like or dislike maybe some of the lyrics in them. But the majority of worship music that we are doing in the evangelical church is at least focused on God and on Christ, his son. However, you can make an argument that some of it is not.
Okay.
Right.
That's fair.
So we could go there.
You're messing with this. This is a thing in my life. I like all kinds of music, all of it.
Yeah.
And I've built a very good defense of why I can do what I do.
Okay.
But like I shared with you earlier, I notice I'm kind of like the Israelites. I'll be close to God. I'll be talking to God. I'll be walking with him. I'll read. I'll study. I'll sit YouTube videos. You and I will talk a lot. I'm very engaged with it. But much like the God's people in the desert, we wander away. Next thing you know, I'm not praying. God's like, hey, I'm over here. And what I notice, and I don't know if one precedes the other, my consumption of secular music goes through the roof. I find all kinds of new people, all kinds of new artists. And I realize I'm in the middle of that when God's like, hey, I'm still over here, bud. You know what I mean? And I find that interesting.
Okay. But you're a music guy.
Right.
So that's kind of natural for you.
You
to
would
gravitate.
Expect that, yeah.
Yeah. But could God? So you have to walk away from that music to get back over to God, or God meets you in that music.
And that's what I'm saying. I'm not sure which precipitates the secular music binge, as it were. But I do know that when God knocks on my heart and says, hey, I'm over here, son, that just kind of falls away.
Okay.
Okay. So I know that he answers and helps me to push it away. But I don't know if I'm almost afraid to say that my lack of focus on heavenly things lets my, I don't even know what you'd call it, consumption of secular music skyrocket.
Okay.
Or if it's, I don't think it's the secular music that, but it becomes a circle,
Mhm.
right? So at one point, so I start listening, then I'm in it. Now I'm in it. Now it's telling me.
Mhm.
Now it's programming me,
Right.
and it's, we're in this circle now. But it's
Right.
no different probably than alcoholism or drugs or porn or any of it,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
We don't set out to go be bad.
We think.
It presents, well, I don't, do you think?
I don't know.
All right. Well, I understand that too. I guess, well, I'm going to put this in this context. I don't set out to go walk away from God, but yet the things that entice me to seem to be in front of my face.
Gotcha. Okay. What's the old hymn? Prone to wander, Lord, I feel it. Prone to leave the God I love. Here's my heart, oh, take and seal it for thy courts above.
We should do that song.
We should do that song.
We should do that song.
So we are talking about music.
Let's jot that down.
Well, so I've been thinking, like, when I used to listen to country, and I was never a music person. Like, I couldn't tell you time frames, bands. There's some people who know the name of the band, the person who was the drummer in the band during that time.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's people who know a lot of stuff. I just listened to all kinds of music. I listened to classical. I listened to rock. I listened to country. All kinds of stuff back then.
And why is it, just as a sidebar, because I've always been amused by this, why is it that we so badly want people to know what we listen to, like what we listen to, and we want them to know what we know about the music that we listen to?
Yeah. I think for me back in the day, it was because I wanted to be liked or represented by all those groups of people. I think personally.
That's pretty deep. I like that.
But when I became a follower of Christ, I didn't have to work at that. I don't know why. I threw that stuff away. And I think partly because when I would hear it on the radio, I knew it wasn't helping me to get to know Jesus. It was actually pushing me back into the old life that I lived.
Yeah.
And part of me, I struggle because I don't know why people don't see that. Like they like for instance, if I'm listening to a Garth Brooks Unanswered Prayers, everybody thinks that's a Christian song. It's really not. it's
pretty theologically horrible.
It is.
Yeah.
And not to mention it brings up, maybe the song makes you want to believe that you're thankful for unanswered prayers, but there are a lot of people out there that listen to that song and go, I'm not so sure, because the spouse I'm married to, I'm kind of thinking the person I used to be with, 20 years ago would be better for me. And it brings up that song itself brings up all of that emotion in a person and actually tempts them to start thinking about old flings again.
Right.
It does nothing to lead us closer to God or to teach us about unanswered prayers.
Well, it's fun. So it's funny that songs mean it's the same song. It means different things to different people.
Right. I get it.
Which is a testimony to how powerful song is to a person's mind.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Because, Blink-182, I Miss You. It could be a lost loved one and they play it at a funeral, right?
Okay.
Listen, stranger things have happened.
Yeah.
It could be to a girlfriend. It could be to, that could make you think about a brother or a cousin or something. Like, I miss you. That's the thing. But the rest of the song that goes with it is not any of that.
Yeah.
At least to me. It might be to you. And that's how powerful music is, right? And lyrics and whatever. Because I have come to realize that it might mean something to me this day, and I'll listen to it and I'll be like, oh no, that's not what they were talking about.
Yeah.
It means this to me today.
Right.
But either way, going back to kind of the importance of music and secularism and world consumption, I'm not allowing it to feed me anything good.
Right.
I'm allowing it to just almost fuel my thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm dumping gas on my thoughts.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
And that really is where the problem comes from. But Brian, I can't let it go. Not right now.
Well, it was interesting because my brother, and this is just, I didn't even bring up the whole music topic because of this, but it's interesting because my brother just came to me last night after prayer, and he's like, have you ever heard, and he said the band, and I'm like, no, I don't know. But then when he said the song, I knew what he's talking about. And it goes, carry on my wayward son.
Mhm.
There'll be peace when you are done. Lay your weary head to rest.
Don't you cry no more.
more.
Yeah.
All right. And then it's right.
Right.
And so it's a really cool tune.
Yeah.
But he's like that. He's like, that's Christian. And I was like, I don't know what their motive was for writing that, but I think it goes, there's something that goes back to the motive and the heart of the people that are writing these songs, which then I think carry a spiritual weight every time they're played.
It's a reflection of the creator.
Right. But I think there's a spiritual and a demonic realm that's at play here. So you say, well, this song could mean this to this person.
Right.
However, if there is a demonic spiritual entity that helps,
the gentle whispers in our ear that is the fuel to our fires.
Yeah,
it is. Absolutely.
So
listen, so you could construe that if you want to call that a Christian song, but it's not, right?
Yeah, yeah.
All it is like, it just proves he was created by God, the author of that song, the writer of that song. All it proves is he's a human being.
Yeah.
And he does not know where to put that thought and emotion. So he's put it on paper in this song.
Right.
And I mean, you're just speaking humanity, which reflects back to God, the creator. Like, it's like Garth Brooks doesn't know why he's singing unanswered prayers. I mean, he thinks he does, but I mean, come on, really? Because if he did, he probably wouldn't sing it.
Right. And he probably wouldn't have been on his second wife, right? Because and I'm not saying anything about second wife. I'm not trying to criticize people.
I wasn't going to go there. I thought about it,
but his struggle, which is the same struggle you and I struggle with. Mm-hmm. It's only by the grace of God that I'm still married to April. I'm not trying to say anything bad about Garth Brooks, but I'm just saying that obviously the struggle that he was going through, his music didn't help him.
Yeah. Well, and this goes, and that's, I mean, I guess that's just it. It just is his regular humanity. It's on paper.
Mm-hmm.
And that can be very touching because we all think like human beings, and we would connect and relate to it on some level. But much like, I mean, here's a conviction in my life. You wouldn't believe it, but I love to talk, and I love to talk to people. No, I know. But I have a conviction that, like, I need to say the things of the word, right? That's what we should speak.
Right.
We should speak of the Father and the Creator and of Jesus and his word and his truths, and anything else is nonsense.
Yeah.
And you just apply that to secular music, and my argument's dead.
So our grandfathers or some of our parents who, when they said that's devil music,
they were right.
They were right.
I think they were right. Listen, so we've just come out of the Ephesians and powers and principalities of the air and the spiritual realm and the other dimensions, and we've talked about this in all of our other videos. You know, I think it was an interview with Frank Peretti, the writer of the books.
Okay.
Who kind of, I read some of those books back in the day, and I listened to an interview of him on the Christian radio station, and something that stuck with me, excuse me, something that stuck with me that he said back then was, these beings are thousands of years old. They have seen a lot of humans come and go. They have seen a lot of torture, misery, pain, and they know how to inflict it. And they know what you need to hear. You are not the first one here. Mm-hmm. How many times are you in the middle of something and you go, man, I wonder, like, I'm going to get away with this, or, you know, Why am I here right now? I must be the only person suffering this bad or something. No. And those entities know what to whisper in your ear. Have you ever seen the movie The Bridge?
Mm-mm.
About the people who've committed suicide?
I saw the Bridge of to Terabithia.
I don't know that one. Is that a cartoon?
No, it's a little girl and boy, and I can't really describe it. I just know the girl dies in the end.
Okay. Well, this is semi-morbid. This is about people that jump off the Golden Gate Bridge.
Okay.
It's a whole documentary about it. And it's
like you say it's a documentary, so this is real life.
The guy for a year put a camera on the Golden Gate Bridge and documented the suicides.
Wow.
Caught them while they're survivors. And one of the most haunting survivor tales he interviews, the guy's like, my head is full of voices and stuff. Do it, or whatever. And he goes, as soon as I do it, it's all gone. My head is quiet. It's messed up.
Wow.
That's messed up. But that's what's in our ears all the time, is their voices. And that, you're just opening the door. And the conviction on myself, you're just opening the door to secular music.
Right. And that's what the demonic realm wants. They want to take captive our mind.
Yeah.
That's why Paul says you have to take thoughts captive.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's one of the places, that's probably the biggest place where the enemy tries to attack us is in our thoughts.
Right.
Our thought life.
Right. I thought that was ridiculous.
That's really
As soon as I jumped, my mind was quiet.
Wow.
Because they killed another one. Right?
Yeah, they're done.
They're done.
Wow.
It's The Bridge.
I'm not watching it, though. I'll take what you said, though. Does he show pictures of people jumping on that in that movie?
Yeah. They're far away. Does that make it better?
Not really. You still see it hit?
You know, that's the thing. It's up on like
so
the
you
bluffs
can
and
just see him
stuff.
jump.
You just see a profile jump.
Yeah.
You know? And it's a lot.
Well, that's like, yeah. I mean, I don't know how much it's going to take to get it through our minds that the world does not want to shape us to love Jesus, even though it tries in little ways to disguise itself as if it's helping us, whether that's secular music, whether that's TV, whether that's commercials.
Listen, this is all right. So music, I mean, that's very significant to me. It makes it a big part of who I am. It sounds terrible all by itself. But how about TV?
Yeah.
I think TV captures a lot more people. TV and movies.
Yeah.
It's the same thing.
It is.
It's the same thing.
Yeah, so let's get on that because I can be Mr. Pharisee and Pretty Boy that says I left all that secular music behind.
Right.
And to be honest, when we're playing the radio game, I'll start singing some phrases to it. I'm like, that's not a good song. Let's switch this.
Right.
And so I can be Pharisee and Pretty Boy, and I'm better. But when it comes to TV, I really struggle because I was really hurting Tuesday night because it was the premiere of The Flash, and my boys were all over that. They were like,
I know they're way into it, right?
Yeah, we're watching that. And I told them, I said, listen, we'll watch it. But I said, if there's junk on there that is just, since it's a new season, if there's junk on there that's not good or healthy, so we're not watching it. So
right.
We're just going to turn it off. And it wasn't bad. There's not a lot of sexuality in any way that I see, but there wasn't any of that stuff in it. It was mostly just the whole.
Is it an NBC show?
It's a CW.
Okay. Because they're pretty much all bought and paid for propaganda for the government in some way.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. And even all the CW stuff. But I'm at the point where I don't want to pull the rug out from underneath my boys. But there's a part of me sometimes that says, just turn it all off.
All right. So I just played a song for you, the Bob Moses song. It's a pretty sacrilegious song.
Yeah.
I love it. I like it.
Uh-huh.
I know that it's wrong. Now, coming off of what we just said.
You like the style of it or the actual content of it? Like you like the
I can't say I can't. Here's how I justify it. It makes me contemplate it.
Oh.
It makes me think about other ideas out there.
Okay.
I don't agree with it. I think the song on its own is written very well, and I get where he's at. And I like the music. It's cool, right? There's nothing like turning it up to 11 in my car.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a movie.
Put it up to 11.
You don't want to watch that movie though.
No, we're not going to whatever.
That's not good.
Well, you could get that clip. That clip's pretty safe.
Yeah, but once you get that clip, then YouTube's going to give you all the other clips, which are not good.
All right, we're not doing it.
So
So either way, anyway, I look in the context of where I get where he's coming from, because I hear his point of view. I don't agree with it whatsoever, and I think that as an artist, it's put together well and it sounds beautiful. But I'm letting that in my ears after what we just talked about.
right.
And this is the dilemma and the struggle to me. You like The Flash. It's not necessarily terrible, but you're letting it in your eyeballs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And sometimes, like afterwards, we have discussions, the boys and I, about maybe a concept that came up.
Yeah.
And we'll talk about it. So that can sometimes be my justification for letting it in my ears, but that doesn't.
Well, I guess that's what I'm saying is I don't know that it's necessarily you shouldn't watch those things if you know, like the dog's a dog, right?
Yeah.
But if it's a mean dog, do you let him in your house?
Yeah.
We could go round and round on it all day.
We could, but that there was a time, and I think I remember maybe back in the early 2000s, there was a time where the church was all about taking movies
And music.
and using them as preaching platforms to either teach something
Or
not teach
taking a
something.
song and making it Christian words.
Right.
Same kind of thing, right?
Right.
Yeah.
But I just wonder how healthy that was, because
I don't think at all.
I don't think
It annoyed, you know what it made me say? We as God's people, I did not like this movement in the 90s whatsoever. We as God's people aren't creative enough. We are not, and mind you, I'm a teenager at the time. Look how smart I was.
Wow.
Yeah. We are not, as God's people, creative enough to come up with our own thing. We have to take what we know the world likes and turn it into ours. Really? Is this what we're doing?
Well, that's what we've done for years, is take.
Well, I think until recently.
Yeah.
I think until recently.
Well, I think the story is that Charles Wesley used to take old bar tunes and then put his hymns to it. That was my understanding.
This is where I'll throw my music whatever in there. Music was much simpler then.
Yeah, right. And well, even the Christian church, it was said that they took pagan holidays and made them their own from a Christian standpoint in order to try to
Dirty Catholics.
try and I guess reach the culture.
Yeah.
And part of that seems.
But look where we are now with Halloween. We don't remember Reformation Day.
Right.
We have death culture.
Right.
But go ahead.
Yeah, and that would be something good to talk about too coming up on Halloween, because it's the same thing. Are we taking part in something that is celebrating and worshiping death?
Yes.
But we justify by saying it's just what we do. It's fun. It's okay.
Trick or treat is lie to me. It could work out good. Maybe not.
Right.
Is that not what
Right.
trick or treat really is?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. And it's like, well, I'm just getting candy.
Right.
My boys have said this before to me. Well, what's the big idea about going around door to door and getting candy? And I'm like, well, it's not. But I said, are we going to dress up like Jesus and share the gospel with each door we stop at? I mean, how are we doing it? I don't mind if we get involved in it, if we're going to get involved in it because we're going to spread the gospel.
Right.
But if we're going to get involved in it to celebrate and have fun with all the other worshipers of Satan,
Right.
and I know that sounds bad,
It's the truth.
but it's what's happening.
It's the truth.
And we don't realize. So we're blinded to the fact that we're worshiping Satan on the night. We're blinded to the fact that when we listen to certain songs, we're being influenced by them. We're blinded by the fact that when we watch movies or shows, that it's impacting us. Or maybe we're not blinded. Maybe we just rationalize it and don't care.
Yeah. Well, that's where I'm at.
Okay.
So I can't judge people who do Halloween.
All right.
Not right now. And I can't judge you for watching Flash. Because right now, Brian, I ain't changing.
Yeah. Well, I struggle. I really do. I've thought about this several times, and I've talked to God about it. I say, God, can you help me? How do I help my boys see the impact of this without pulling the rug out from underneath them?
Yeah. Because you know what you'll do? You'll turn them into a real world contestant.
Well,
We all remember the Christian who would end up on the real world, and they were the worst one of them all. Right?
Either that, or I'll make them a Pharisee like myself sometimes when I pull into that kind of thing, because then they'll be like, oh, well, if you watch this TV show, you're okay, but if you watch this one, you're a fallen angel. Whatever. That's not good. That's not healthy.
Judgmental.
Yeah. Yeah, that's not healthy for them.
No.
Because we're all lost and desperately.
If we all could just be
Savior.
self-reflective and know that we all are fallen, that we all have problems,
Right.
and that our brothers have problems,
Right.
we could fix a lot of things.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah. And that's, yeah.
All right, we're going to boil this all down because we really hit it today on this one.
Yeah, this was a good one. And
music's bad, TV's bad, secularism, we know that's bad.
So don't love the world.
Don't love the world or yourself.
Right.
Right. That's a hard one.
Yeah.
Halloween's bad. Death culture, Satan. Let's just call it what it is.
Right.
What else did we hit?
I think that. Oh, Garth Brooks.
Garth Brooks.
Unanswered prayers. I'm afraid not.
What about the thunder rolled lightning strike song?
I kind of like that song, but the problem is it flies directly in the face of unanswered prayers. Because
he contradicts his own songs.
Well, because in unanswered prayers, all of a sudden, this person in this is some kind of moral person that is thankful to God because he kept him from a certain relationship, because now he sees how being married to this person was right. But in Thunder Rolls, he's coming home with stuff, smellies on his neck, and she's understanding.
He's knocking around with an old bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's not good.
Creepy.
So
thanks, Garth Brooks. This is what the 90s taught me.
Yeah. Not good. I had the cassette tape of that.
I did too. He had the black and red shirt.
I used to think I sang that really well.
Really?
But no one really told me I sang it well. So when you're singing in the car, I think you always sound like you.
I think I'll sing out loud and think I'm knocking out of the park, and people laugh at me later.
Yeah, pretty much.
I've been called out.
Yeah,
but it's okay.
Yeah, I thought about trying out for the worship team.
You want to? Everyone else does.
Well,
you should come on out.
But all I know how to do is sing. But I don't even know that I know how to do that. I've only had one person tell me that I sound okay, and she said I have a good voice. That's my wife. But see, when it's your wife, I don't.
My wife told me I have a good voice too.
Really?
I don't believe it.
Because my son Nathan, who's very straightforward.
Right now, I'm not at all good whatsoever. But at least I'm talking to
because of all the coffee.
Yeah, sure, man.
All right.
I put a lot of creamer in it.
Because my son Nathan, who's very straightforward, he just when I sing, he's like, Dad. Or if we're in the car and I start singing a song, he turns the radio on and turns it up.
That's good.
Wow.
That's good.
So he really knows the truth, and he's not afraid to share it.
He's not afraid to call you out.
Yeah.
Right.
But I do love to sing to the Lord. I do like to worship him.
I do too. It's a lot of fun. Why can't I stay there? Why is that not good enough? Why do I want to see what the world has to offer me?
That's a whole nother video.
It's a whole other video, and I think we ought to end it.
Yeah. All right. You guys have a good weekend.
See ya. I'll wait to hit the button on that one there. And